me, Travis Reese, John Bem, Todd, Hannah.
It's just background. So I do have an answer for you. And our answer is, it goes something along those lines. Some community prosper, some disappear. And the waves of economy and go in and out. And master plan, comprehensive plan, is look into the future, is an attempt to shape your community in a way to where it will develop and prosper. And for the central city, we see this comprehensive plan update not as another regular scheduled change in regulatory documents. We see it as a very significant threshold that will allow meaningful change. That meaningful change will be designed to preserve and celebrate what is here already. It will also allow meaningful, large-scale development that will help to pay for maintenance and thriving of the community. So if we were to reduce the why, or we are doing it to sort of elevator speech, that's the speech. That's what we are trying to do. So we'll talk through the process. We are engaging in series of public meetings. And this is the first one, and I really hope to see all of you, and hopefully your neighbors at the next one and the next one. Your design team, us, we come and go. You hopefully stay here and continue to live and experience the place. So it's a very important contribution you can make by taking the process seriously and contributing to the best of your abilities. Okay, so you want to flip through it. This is our agenda, and we have about 30 minutes, hopefully a little less, of a presentation, and then we'll open it for questions, discussions, suggestions. Once again, we would like to hear from you. This process is for the city at large. So we will introduce the team. We will introduce the process. We'll talk about our three public meetings, starting today and then going into early August, I believe. And then we'll review goals and objectives, why is master plan is needed, and what we are trying to achieve, illustrating the challenges, illustrating the opportunities. And then we'll talk about stated goals and desired outcome, and we'll introduce the several key ideas. In our several months of working on the project, we came up with analytical tools that will help us to change the town. And then questions, answers, and then we have exhibits that show our previous work, if everybody will want to stay that long. And we'll talk a little bit about our design method. That's the presentation. Before I go into a monologue, anybody wishes to offer anything? No? Yes? Questions? All right. Let's go. Introduction of the process. Jeff, I think it's you. Can we minimize the attendance window?
Except that I can't see who comes in late.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you change the size of the window?
And if not, it's probably not a big deal. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Okay, so our effort is a combination of public stakeholders, outside agencies, private stakeholders, and design team, and then municipal focus groups. So this process has been authorized by the city council, and we are working closely together with staff administrators, public works, planning director, commissioners, and so forth, and the outside agencies that are not directly involved, but part of the overall process. We have Urban Renewal Authority, BID, DDA, and there are private stakeholders. Most noticeably is Central City Parkway bondholder that is providing information as economic advisor to the team. And then our team, which is not only architects, but we have civil engineers, we have landscape architects, we have traffic engineers, and other multidisciplinary professionals that are contributing to this effort. There is an overall vision, and then it breaks into areas of expertise where various engineers and designers are contributing to the recommendations. Let's go maybe to the next slide. This is your team members. We talked about our office. We have Strata for landscape and planning. We have plumber engineering for civil engineering. We have LSC for traffic engineering. They've been working within City of Central for 15 years or so, have really good understanding of challenges and opportunities. And then we have our analytics and technology consultants. They are on the line as well, where we are going to use modern tools to do what we do and hopefully get engagement from you and allow better visibility of the process and so on. So is design and development process. So is the start of the process in every instance is review of existing regulatory documents, what we have, what has been developed, and what kind of problems and opportunities exist within the existing regulatory base. And the second step that is already behind us, the focus team from the planning office and administration has been put together, and we were reviewing and analyzing some of the opportunities and preparing the package that we are starting to talk about today and will be shown in video and rendering format at our next meeting. So that is what was done to this point. And we started, Blake, when did we start? Do you remember? I think it was in May, maybe April of this year. So we are a couple of months into the process. There was a long period of sort of putting together an agreement, but the actual work started maybe 2 months ago. And the step number 3 in this process is implementation of public engagement. And we are still in our design. We have ideas and we have some preliminary recommendations. And significance of the of our public outreach process, we are going to unveil those ideas to you. We are going to ask for feedback. We are going to incorporate some of the try to incorporate some of the recommendations, and then we'll refine the design. We'll put concepts, text, graphics together, and later this year and early into next year, the idea would be to adopt code amendments in both text and graphic form. So at the end of this process, the stated goal is to have comprehensive plan for the city of Central modified with its new 2025. So far, so good. All right. So deliverables summary is what it is we are going to produce. Site planning packages conceptual level. So after and that will make a little more sense when we talk about, look at the maps and talk about some of the specific area, but site planning packages, what it entails is looking at some areas we are slating for change and trying to see what kind of change, what kind of improvements are being envisioned. There will be some graphic representation of three-dimensional development envelopes. And this is, we do it a little different from many other planning design firms. We are trying to illustrate possible, we are not trying to design the building, but we are trying to illustrate for you possible buildings as they develop within the update code. So you can very clearly see the difference or see the impact. What does it mean? How big of a building? What's the setback? What's the bulk plane? So this is that will be illustrated in both still images rendered, and then you can fly through. And we'll put it on our digital platform, and you will be able to fly through it on your own time, not necessarily. And so then project data matrices. And comprehensive plan looks at dynamics and looks at development. We know we have empirical data on a number of residents in the city of Central today, a number of houses and square footage, and many other aspects. Is what comprehensive plan does, it anticipates future dynamics, whether it's growth or shrinkage, but what we are planning on producing and showing you is projected building areas and levels of occupancy in conversion to single family equivalent. So how much city is in our hope, in our design, is expected to grow and change. And then projected occupant loads. So there is a summary tabulation that says here where we are today, here where we are going to be in 40 years time, if it goes according to the plan. And then Jeff, I'm in your mercy again to move the window for me. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Design visualization. So our work, we'll talk at the digital twin about it, is our work. We don't draw the city. We don't even model the city any longer. What we do is we produce a database. It's a digital twin that has a graphic representation that shows your city terrain and buildings, and then we hook it up to database, and then you can fly through it and see how it is today and how it is expected to be when it develops. Now, some of it is pretty conceptual. You won't be able to find all the doors and windows maybe on your house, but it has that data embedded in it. And then number 5, which is arguably the least entertaining, but the most important part of the effort, is text amendment. that regulatory document that has been last updated over 5 years ago. This is what we are planning on modifying. Okay. So this is our schedule summary. I don't know if we are, yeah, I'm straying away from the microphone again. So from schedule viewpoint, this tells me that we are 4 weeks into our analytics and work sessions. I think it's been longer than that, but we are doing our public. We are starting the next stage today, which is our public engagement. The meeting number 2 is 8-4. Is that right? Yes. So, and then meeting number 3 is 8-18. So those are the set of 3 meetings that we talked about. Is after that, after the series of public meetings, we will take the feedback and we will start cooking the final deliverables and final recommendations, which will take us some 9.5 weeks. And then we'll go before the planning commission, and then we'll go into city council presentation. And the hope is that at the end of this process, the revisions will be accepted and incorporated into the comprehensive plan, which is a development law in your town, in every town. So those are outlines of the meeting. Today, what we are doing, we are introducing the team and the process. We are talking about goals and objectives, and we will touch upon key concepts and ideas. In public meeting number 2, August the 4th, is formal presentation of the proposed design. At this juncture, you hopefully hopefully I'll do a decent job explaining the ideas and design drivers. And then you will explain them to your neighbors, and more people comes. And then at the second meeting, we will go through the key recommendations. Where do we propose new roads? Where do we propose changes in density? Where do we propose sort of strategic focus of the town? We'll talk about historic preservation and modernity, and probably as important as our recommendation, will show you what we consider successful examples of the municipalities that have similar aspects to the city of Central, historic fabric, gaming, and others, and how they succeeded and what they've done that is worth learning from, in our opinion. And those examples are picked from all over the world. So different cultures, different preferences, yet some lessons to be learned. And then public meeting number 3 is that's not today. It's 8-18, I believe, was on a previous slide. So is mid of August. Engineering and infrastructure, road and transportation. We will be bringing our engineering team with us. But once again, most importantly, at the third meeting, we are taking comments. We'll be taking comments today and all the way until the end of public comment meeting. And you can do it in hard copy format. We have a platform that goes live today for you. Or you are more than welcome to come in the third meeting and speak to us. So whatever is easiest here, I'm trying to emphasize the fact that it is a public process and we are really encouraging public participation. So those are our meetings, and now to goals and objectives. So what we are trying to achieve in the update. Economic growth and current regulations have resulted in continued decline. And it's painful for me to say, but unfortunately, we have figures that we look at that, and you will see a small summary of those figures that actually show beyond reasonable doubt that, and Jim, you were saying before the meeting, the visitation is down. And it's not this year phenomenon. It's been happening for some time. And the data shows it. So when we interrogate the data, it tells us that what the city needs is economic growth. And it is needed not necessarily to expand, and it is needed to keep what you currently have and not lose it. So current regulations have resulted in stagnation and decline, and reliance on current gaming and historic tourism needs to be supplemented. It's one of the key findings and key recommendations that we are seeing. And so the historic preservation, I was telling to some of you that historic preservation for us, it's not the job, it's a mission. Our office is in a building that was constructed in 1886, and we love old structures. We love and try to help old towns. However, and there is again, we have data to illustrate that some of the historically significant structures are being lost due to, and neglect is probably not a good word for it, but economic realities. Is they need to be maintained, they need to be used. If they become abandoned, they fall in disrepair and disappear. And the historic preservation logs going back to 1960 show a steady and significant decline of existing historic stuff. So those are, the next one is resolving deferred maintenance of infrastructure. And those are all those engineering lines that are not particularly exciting and entertaining, but we all need water and sewer and sanitation and safe roads. And it would be fantastic to be able to invest in it now and improve the situation, or at least stop deterioration. So that's the third goal. And the fourth one, and it's not necessarily our recommendation, it comes from staff and administration of the city, what we would like to do as a joint team to avoid the burden of tax falling to the residents. I mean, where to fix the roads, to fix the infrastructure, where money comes from. Well, it's whether development or it's being passed to the residents. So those are some of the decisions that are being considered as part of the comprehensive plan. So costly maintenance and improvements either found by new development or shouldered by current populace. Enhance public services, first responders, safety. Again, I don't have to tell you that in a relatively short period of time when we were working in the town, there were 2 fires, and is giving our first responders better tools to deal with all that would be fantastic. And that road network, improve access, safety, and connectivity. So those are needs for, as we see, for what we do and why we do. Okay. So what's the solution? And again, we are planners and architects. So there are many solutions we cannot come up with, but what we see in the design world, in specifically your comprehensive plan, we do see a better way, much better, of moving forward, which will foster growth, and prosperity is a big word, but much more sustainable economic situation. So desire to attract meaningful development. And the key word here is meaningful. And what we will be proposing is significantly different, larger scale than what was doable, proposed, contemplated in the years past. The next one is our wordsmithing. Central City is both delightful and a very difficult place to build. Now I'm speaking as not as a master planner, but as an architect who have to, most of what we do is working on the buildings that actually getting constructed and dealing with nuts and bolts of excavation, foundation, utility lines, and all that good stuff. This is, it's a secret, but I'll tell you, the city is steep. There is a lot of grade change, which makes it, and the geotechnical conditions are such that it's not an easy place to excavate and construct. So steep terrain, extreme weather, and a lot of our work is alpine development. And alpine is 8,000 feet and up, typically, as defined. It's not a hard definition, but that's how we sort of look at it. And we worked on ski resorts or other alpine developments is on several continents and certainly in many states. Is Central City is as close as it is to metro area. It's very high. On the north west part of town, we are crossing into 9,500 feet above sea level, which means, okay, there are a lot of technical consideration that go into it when you are dealing with alpine development. There are environmental concerns, mine shafts and mitigating toxic tailings and mitigating other contamination. When a developer, outside developer, looks at your city, it's a beauty contest against other municipalities. And they all want the development where they can see the end of it, where they can see the beginning, and they can see the occupied building. And each one of those items is something that adds risk, timeline, and potentially cost. So when we are making recommendations, those are considerations that have to be addressed or taken into account. Infrastructure challenges. I love the streets, narrow, winding streets. They have a lot of character. However, when you introduce contemporary traffic flows and significant densities, it's a limitation. So this is something to consider as well. And last one, which we are addressing starting today, is restrictive codes. And this is, it's a very significant difference. When a developer looks at a municipal code and sees that in order for them to achieve their financial, economic, and other goals, he would have to change it completely. That creates a situation that we have experienced for the past several decades. So this is something that we are trying to address. And again, regardless of how I feel about it or all of you feel about it, the developer, in order for them to come into a municipality, they have to be profitable. Otherwise, they will go elsewhere. Benefits must outweigh the risks, and not only they must outweigh the risks, is what your municipality, our municipality provides, have to be more attractive than next door and the next door. So, and current regulatory documents are hampering that development. Density and height increases are necessary for profitability and to outweigh challenges. It does not mean, however, the moment you change your codes, everybody comes and starts developing. But it's a first and, in our mind, necessary step to start the process. Okay. At this point, I'm starting to feel like a prophet of doom. We need to talk about something. We will talk about something positive a little later, so bear with me. No new development has taken place in the in the recent past. This is not an entirely factual statement. There are some developments. They are, however, scale and size that is not enough to tip the scale of what is happening. Is when somebody does a renovation of his or her house or small expansion, it's still a development. It's just not something that will improve the lives of the folks and make municipality viable. We have property value decline for 17 years in a row. It's pretty chilling statistics. 53% of available commercial areas are vacant, and large majority are underutilized. New development is needed to improve business conditions, generate revenue for the city to survive and improve. And I'm going to go off script for a second. We are 30 some minutes into it, and I'm still making the case of why the change is needed. It's a very important part. It would be fantastic to take the central portion of the city and maybe put a snow globe around it and say, let's not touch it. However, larger economic reality is telling you time and again, is if we don't change something, we are not going in the good direction. We are going in a place where city may not be viable in a period of time. New development is needed, so the tax burden will fall on residents if not on new development. So let's go to the next one. There are 3 gaming communities in the state of Colorado. That's a very small slide. I cannot see it myself. I apologize, guys. But those 3 lines that you see, it is Central City, Cripple Creek, and Black Hawk, and it tracks the dynamics starting in 1992 all the way to 2024. Last year we have data. And when we are talking about the fact that we are not keeping up with inflation, that's the illustration from available data. So that's my last slide, I suppose, in illustrating why something needs to be done. And then desired enhancement, what do we want to do? Emergency services, fire station, and training facility. Again, those are some of the interviews and sit downs and work sessions with first responders and engineering departments, and try to sort of visualize what is the size of our ask as far as changes and improvements into emergency services, bypass roads, which is network of our road improvement, storm manager, stormwater management, local police, and then something a little less quantifiable, such as improved walkability, sidewalks, trails, outdoor connectivity, public spaces. Again, there are a lot of wonderful spots, but there is also discontinuity within the city. And we'll talk about it. And it's mostly due to terrain, but also due to economic realities. So those are, historic preservation average. I've gone too long already. So we have statistics on the historic preservation that we'll hopefully do at the next meeting in a little more detail. And stop demolition by neglect is what we are trying to do. Let's go to the next one. Is quantitative goals is what we are trying to achieve is bring development of significant scale and investment, improve health and safety, improve roadways, increase defined open space and public spaces, modernize infrastructure, improve services, amenities, facilities. And in the qualitative goals, we have inspired design. The first recorded zoning code that survived without alteration to this day is the city of Siena in Italy. I don't know how many of you visited, but is Siena. It's in Tuscany. It's a lovely city. And the code is from early 14th century. And it stipulated the height of buildings, the position of buildings around urban square. There were no drawings, it's just text talking about what could or could not be done and how it steps back, and it generated inspired design. Arguably, amongst the buildings that surround central portions of Siena, not many of them are true masterpieces, but they contribute meaningfully to urban fabric. So you can build into your dry code books aesthetics that you are trying to implement. And that's what we are hoping to do. And we are hoping to achieve appropriate character. And appropriate character is, there are healthy debates that are as old as architecture itself. What does it mean to preserve, restore, renovate? How do you do it? Do you copy? Do you change? Do you extend? So we have our opinions, and we will recommend appropriate character that is very respectful to history, and it's non-nostalgic. It does not try to replicate historical pattern on a scale of new buildings. And then we are trying to, our goals are to create desirable sites and enhance the sense of place. So let's go to the next one. This is the list of documents: Central City Comprehensive Plan, Central City Design Guidelines, and Central City Trails Master Plan. This is in focus on our team. This is what we are dissecting, and this is what we will be recommending for revisions. Infrastructure improvement, 3D digital twin, early stage implementation. I have to pick up pace. And recommendations based for increase of density and architectural character diversification. So that's what we will be talking about. And then phasing is, again, a lot of it is driven by developers, by people coming and willing to contribute meaningfully to prosperity of the city. Infill projects that are currently permitted and located within historic zones, they will continue to be supported, streamlined, and our recommendations do not impede or downgrade any of that process. And then Gregory Gulch Gaming area, the eastern portion, is slated for as the next area. And then we have a list of other priorities. Again, it's not designed or not anticipating to force developers to do anything. It is when municipality has funds, where do you strategically allocate it? How do you improve the area to be attractive? So let's go to the next one. And we are finally to the concepts. The first concept is digital twin technology. We talked about a little bit. You have screenshots of your town as it exists in our on our cloud, in our digital world. And then there are little red arrows that are pointing to a spreadsheet. That's the database that contains information, and there are many layers. There's a layer of historic buildings. There are layers of engineering lines. There are layers of parking. Not everything to everybody, but the important components of the city are documented in that format. And furthermore, when we are trying to filter the area to only look at historical buildings, it'll show me that and it will compute and assemble it. Let's go to the next one. And this is one of the illustration. Looking at the project, this is one of the ski resorts that we designed in China. And this is also early example of digital twin, looking at electrical infrastructure and how that is being implemented. So working with your engineering director, engineering department, that's part of what we are trying to do, is create data-rich foundation. All right, hey, we got to a map finally. This is current zoning. So we colored it for clarity and for so you can see what those different districts are currently allowing to do, including height and width and setbacks. And in the next meeting, we will compare and contrast it with some areas of stability that are not changing, and then the other areas where we see a meaningful change. So let's go to the next one. Proposed land use concept. So villages concept. We've covered that before. The city is steep, and trying to walk from one area to another, even though it may look very close on the map, it's a steep height in thin air. So as one of the tools that we use when we encounter that situation, you envision the city as a collection of villages, and you develop walkability and connectivity within the village, and then you connect villages. That makes it much more enjoyable and frankly possible in some cases to circulate, to navigate, to enjoy the city. So it's an important, it sounds a little or a lot abstract. When we look at the maps, that concept will make, I hope will make sense. Let's go to the next one. This is our historic central business district, downtown area, if you will. Everything that's in gray is existing, and the only sort of recommendation that we have in there, many upper levels of historical buildings are underutilized and difficult to do something with. So opening up historic core to relax zoning at the upper level to allow a variety of uses may help us, may help you business building owners to have those upper floors occupied. So let's go, let's continue. Is destination and connectivity. So in the analysis, we look at the city, and this is what you see before you, which is hardly readable, is a map of the city with Maryland Mountain up on top, and then the little stars and colored areas is area of interest, and we are developing connectivity of trails within the village and then connecting the villages. So that's historic district. And then you see a little more intense network that allows you to circulate. And that's that. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to me for that long. A very organized group. Questions, comments. Very sorry. One more thing I mentioned, but I didn't elaborate on. Right there is a board that says comprehensive plan on it. On the board, you can see a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you to a brand new platform that is connected to the City of Central website. On that platform, you can fill out questionnaire and provide your feedback in questionnaire format or in free form. You will also be able to see everything that this presentation today, if you wish to review it one more time, it's there. All the images and videos and data will be there. And in time, there will be some space age tools that will allow you to interact with comprehensive plan in a new way or form. I'm sorry, your turn.
I was on the HPC for many, 12, 20 years. And we're national. National, so we have coverage.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen over me. Huh? Oh, shit.
Is like you guys trying to change that stuff. Because that could get us kicked out of being national.
We are what very good here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So very good question, good comment. No, we are not trying to modify the landmark status that the city has on the federal level. Okay. We are trying to develop tools within the municipal tool set that allows you this diversification and if you will, village variation within architectural language. That was a lot of words. Did I answer?
Well, yes, yes, because of the national league.
Yes, so we are not trying to get out of national landmark that. We are trying to give more discretion to the municipality on what is accepted. Okay.
Yep. Oh, for the benefit of those online, can you use the microphone and repeat the question when the person in the public asks the question?
I'm gonna
Switch sides.
have you do the heavy lifting. So the question was if our effort is expected to compromise the landmark status that was granted to the City of Central by the federal government. The answer is no. However, we are trying to create more discretion within various parts of the city for the diversification of architectural language. I was shorter second time. So, okay. Please, Eric.
Diversification in an architectural language, does that mean that we would get permission from the feds to build a building that didn't look historically accurate?
If it's new. That's
If it's a new building, would it look like a new building, or would it be a new building that looks like an old building? Or we haven't really decided that yet.
So, Eric's, thank you. Do I need to repeat the question? Yes. So the question was, what does it really mean? Give more flexibility to architectural language. Will new buildings look historic or will new buildings look new? Is it close enough? Yes, I don't want to sort of, and the answer is that we are not trying to design buildings. We are trying to change comprehensive plan. And we would like to give flexibility to the developer to design a contemporary building or to design a historical looking building. It will still have to meet the criteria published by the Secretary of Interiors, but within that criteria, there is a lot of flexibility granted already. As a matter of fact, okay, did I answer the question? There is a longer version of it, but I don't think it's pertinent.
Could you put that criteria on your website, please?
Absolutely.
What that means to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we will, it's a good request and we will put it there. And if you have anybody has hard time finding what you are looking for, we have a protocol for how you ask questions. We'll try to answer. And the other part is to keep us honest, come to the next meeting and let's make sure you see what you are asking for.
We're in a little bit of a trial by error here on the format. So for the benefit again of those online, we're going to switch it up. We're going to have you go to the podium and state your question along with your name. So we have that as part of the record. And everybody will be able to.
Questions were over.
That was not a way to discourage participation.
I'm George Washington.
You guys really well.
Guys, it's not only questions, it's also if you would like to offer what problems do you see within the city, or what needs to be addressed, or what opportunities. So any of those items, again, if you go to the questionnaire, it will feed you some of those that give us recommendations, tell us in your neighborhood, in your place, is what doesn't work, what works particularly well. Challenges and opportunities.
Yes, I have a quick question.
That's a very good question, and it requires some strategic thinking that we obviously do not have. So we will make it available to participants. I'm not sure how amongst.
It's a QR code for those listening online that we're talking about.
Actually, I was going to suggest for those online, centralcity.app. Centralcity.app is the designated website for the project. And that's where you'll be able to find all information about the comprehensive plan update, as well as a link to the survey.
So Blake, maybe put it in the, in the dialogue box for the meeting, so folks can connect to it. Okay, what else? Anybody?
I've got a question for y'all. So I'm Blake Laslin, the project manager with Overmeyer Shakeout Architecture. Maybe you could help us out and talk about what you want. Like, if you could have anything, what do you want? Like what's near and dear
city needs to get its character back and life back. It is that ever since gaming started, it's been on a downhill trajectory. All the character the city had before gaming, when gaming started, they flipped the switch, all that went out, became casinos. Blackhawk built out, and everybody's going, we're going to the new casinos, and the casinos up here died. So now we don't have, the character life and casinos up here. But, before gaming, Central City had a real charm to it, and people would come up here. And now, outside, a small crowd that has their favorite casino up here, there's nobody. I mean, and even in the casinos, a lot of them during the day, during the week, you walk through there and there's hardly anybody there. They're trying to run restaurants in the casinos with literally 3 or 4 people at tables. And it's like, what could be done to bring that eclectic character back to Central City?
Well, opera is wonderful. And I'm not saying it because Eric is here. There are some cultural treasures,
Yeah.
and there are architectural historical gifts within the city. So it's a lovely place. But we share. I mean, your sentiment is exactly what we are talking about.
I
People are not seeing it. Less and less.
I think part of it is marketing. And with that is funding adequate marketing up front to actually have an impact, is expensive. And, small businesses and, the historical society is the same way. It is, we don't have the money to make a big enough impact to make the change. And it's figuring out how do you collaborate to make a big enough impact, because, with the historical society, we're not people don't come up here just to go to the historical society. It's a byproduct of this, and this. Otherwise, in 2 hours you're done and it's all okay, just we gotta go home. But, it is, trying to bring back those eclectic shops and, local restaurants and saloons, gotta have saloons, dance halls, type stuff. Because, you've got vacant buildings. But, new businesses can't survive without people. And you look at a lot of, small businesses in the town now, is, especially once you get outside the summertime, the end of May through Labor Day, or, the end of September, they're only open a couple days, a week, and, only like 10 to 4. So, it's like you need to expand stuff to actually be able to attract people up here.
We need to include families. That's what disappeared.
They do. It's called the strip club.
As a kid come up here, and it was like a, kid paradise.
Yeah. Well, and to give you an example, if you look at the Hidden Treasure Trailhead in Blackhawk, that place is packed. I mean, Saturday, Sunday, the parking lot is totally full. They've got the overflow parking lot where the old post office is. That fills up. They have bike racing events up there. But, the number of people that thing draws, just shot. So, it's figuring out things like that, would bring people up here. And, oh, by the way, while you're here, there's some other fun things to do.
And very good comment, Jim. And we are completely like-minded. There are some people, you and I, who would go to see the old buildings and go to a museum. Most folks would come in if there are services and other attractions nearby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is the whole point, I think, of the exercise, and marketing, I think, will only take you that far.
Hmm.
You have to have something to market.
Right.
And at this point is the our sort of remedy is sizable development
Mhm.
that comes in and brings its captive audience, its people, its visitors, its staff. The spillover effect
Mhm.
is what fills out the coffee shops,
Yeah.
the museums, and the other areas. This is that population that we are missing. And then after you reach critical point, then people actually know that Central City exists, and they come and they see it, and kids programs could be developed.
What I'm interested to see is all this is great. We're talking about it, we're doing all that, but then it comes down, where do we get the money to get the fire station area that we need? Where do we get our law enforcement back, personal law enforcement, which I would like to see again? And where do we get the money for we can't cover anything for streets hardly now. So we have to have that first before we have anything else. And so I'm interested in what you come up with.
I'm paraphrasing, so make sure that I'm not changing the meaning of your question.
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, very good. So the question is to do all those wonderful things that we all want, improve infrastructure and such, where the money coming from? And I have what I consider a good answer for you, is that sizable development we are talking about, and come back to a meeting, public meeting tomorrow, is God willing, millions of dollars in tax revenue from a sizable development. It's what pays for all. I mean, this is where streets are coming from, new fire stations. If you triple your taxation year on year, all of a sudden, instead of dying, we are doing pretty
So you're
well.
talking about taxation again.
Well,
Where else could
Well,
it
in
come?
there, you were saying that they didn't want to raise the taxes for the people who live here.
That's correct.
So what taxation are you?
What taxation means is if you have, and again, I'm not economics guy, so bear with me. But when you have a development